Hello dear friends, let's see and let's understand the four major concepts of economy on which the whole economic studies concepts are depends on: GDP, NDP, GNP and NNP. We'll take one by one. First is GDP. GDP means what? Is a gross domestic product. Gross defines something else, domestic defines something else. What is GDP exactly? GDP means value of all goods and services produced within the country. Within the country, that exactly defines the domestic. Domestic means which is not producing or selling out of the nations. So domestic. Value of all goods and services produced in a country. We only take the value of those goods and services which are produced within the border of country, right? So that is GDP. Let's see what are the different aspects of GDP. GDP is all about the production, simply. Production what? Factory produces the goods. Right? When a factory produces, this is a good, suppose. When a factory produces the goods, factory produces the goods with the help of so many things, right? Like labor, machinery, land, building. Right? To produce one single good, the factory needs the labors, machineries, land and building. But that doesn't mean when the production of goods is finalized, factory charges on each and everything they use to produce the good. Suppose this is the pen, and this pen is in the rate of the pen in the market is rupees 10. But if the factory says that this pen have needed 1000 laborers, 2 crores of machinery, too much of land, so much bigger of building, so this pen's price should be 500. No, it's not going to be like that. So simply the intermediate goods like land, machinery, building, labor, whatever we use to produce good, we exclude the intermediate. Understood? Intermediates are these things. We exclude all intermediate stuffs what we use to produce the final goods. Simply we only take the final production, right? Understanding the final production, when we exclude the intermediate and when we only take the final production, that defines here gross. This gross. So understood what gross means in a GDP? Gross means taking the final goods production and excluding the intermediate goods. Got it? Alright. Let's take what is domestic. We only count the production which is selling within the country. That means we don't add income from abroad. Suppose this is the whole world, this is India and this is Europe. We are producing a pen here, right, and we are selling that pen to Europe and we are earning dollars from them. We don't add the dollars what we are earning from Europe to India. We only add the income which is arising within the India. That's why that clarifies the concept domestic. Whatever we sell outside, that income arising from abroad for the same product, we don't add that into the GDP. We only add the income which is arising domestically. So hence explains the concept of domestic. So this is what the GDP is, gross domestic product, right? So you understood the gross nicely, you understood the domestic nicely. Okay, the next comes NDP. Now NDP, the only difference in GDP and NDP here is the net domestic product. What net domestic product is, the only difference in GDP and NDP is the gross and the net. Gross here is not adding the intermediate goods, simply. So NDP is what? Is GDP plus the intermediate goods. When we add to the GDP the intermediate goods like labor, land, building, what we have used to produce a final production, we add that to the GDP. When we add that to the GDP, then that is no more a gross, that becomes the net. So when we add the intermediate goods to the GDP, that becomes the net domestic product. Got it? So GDP plus intermediate goods is NDP, we get is equal to NDP. Clear? Okay. Next is GNP, is as simple as is a gross national product. The only difference in a GDP and GNP is the domestic and a national. When we add to the GDP plus income arising from abroad, we get GNP. Simply GDP plus the income arising from abroad, that means what we are producing here and also selling into the outer countries and what we earning from them. When we add that earning to this GDP, we get GNP, domestic national. So GDP plus income arising from abroad is equal to GNP, as simple as. And finally is NNP, is net national product. Now give little more emphasis. Net national. Remember what net means. Net belongs to the NDP, net domestic product, right? Here we have clarified before what NDP is. This N, this net GDP is as simple as gross domestic product. Net domestic product. Net is this net. This net means intermediate goods, right? This national means plus abroad income, right? This belongs to GNP, this N, right? and product is the product. So simply net domestic product is what? GDP, okay, sorry, simple as NDP plus GNP is equal to NNP. Net domestic product, gross national product is equal to net national product. This N plus this N is equal to this both N's. Net domestic gross national is equal to net national product. Thank you.